welcome to the Kelly Roach Show, a place for no fluff, easy to implement, 20-minute or less business and leadership lessons to help you build a sustainable business that scales. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Kelly Roach Show. Pumped to be here with you guys. Today we are talking about a little bit more of a personal conversation. I want to share with you some of the top life hacks that Billy and I live by. Some are me, some are we, but I thought these things could make a big difference for you. And of course, would love to share in this conversation with you. So you can always PM me or DM me on Facebook or Instagram and share your type life hacks along the way. So first of all, one of the things that I think Billy and I have done exceptionally well is we've created a very relaxing and stress-free home environment. And this was really one of our absolute top priorities in the way that we formed our family and in all of the decisions that we make. How do we create a very relaxed and peaceful home life? It's like one of our top priorities. And we've been super intentional about every decision that we've made in our lives in order to do that. A couple of the things that coincide with that are being thoughtful about seemingly very small things that make a really big difference. So for example, Madison's 9. We have been very intentional to not plan and to not sign her up for activities on the weekends. And that means that we don't spend all day Sunday and Saturday and Sunday running errands and driving her to practices and running all over the place. I see so many parents that they kill themselves working all week long just to sign their kids up for back-to-back-to-back sports and activities all weekend long. They're up at the crack of dawn. They're killing themselves. They look exhausted. They're so burnt out. They're not caring for themselves. And that's a problem, right? And is your child suffering because they don't have sports practice on Saturday morning? No. Are they getting any less benefit in their life by limiting their activities to weeknights? No. But the difference in your family life, the difference in your ability to get 8 hours of sleep at night, the difference in the tone and the pace that you set for the weekend for your family is absolutely life-changing. Now, I'm not saying that as Madison gets older that she's not going to have things on the weekend. Of course she is. Right? Of course she is. She's in cheer now. She's starting to do competitions and stuff like that. This year, she'll probably have a couple weekends where she has, sports related things. Few and far between though. Few and far between. And we've made it 9 years, almost 10. She'll be 10 in March. Okay. So number one is really thinking about what you want to sign yourself and your children up for and the quality of life factor for you and your spouse or your partner or you if you manage the home alone and really what that looks like. I know that it's a norm culturally to spend all weekend running around like a crazy person. And people have their busy badge where they brag about how they're going from one sports team to another and, running from field to field to field. And, is that necessary at a certain level of competitive sport? Absolutely. Is that necessary for your young children for the vast majority of their childhood? No, it's not. And I am someone, let me just be super clear. I did competitive sports. I was an All-American All-Star for cheerleading. I did gymnastics. I was an NFL cheerleader. I understand competitive sports. I understand being in an environment where you are very involved athletically. But I think that parents self-initiate and enslave themselves to busyness that's not necessary far earlier than it's necessary. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we set the tone and the pace for our weekend by bringing in a masseuse on Saturday morning every weekend that we possibly can. So if we're home and we're not traveling and our masseuse is available, we start our Saturday morning with back-to-back massages so that we have a relaxed environment in our house. It is kind of like a ringing of the bell, a changing of the guard to say, this is the weekend. This is the weekend. This is the state that we're going to be in. This is the pace of life that we're going to practice, right? And so just having some type of ritual that acts as like the changing of the guard for your transition from work to play or from work to family or whatever the case can be absolutely life-changing. Okay. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, if you notice in my brand, I use photo shoots a ton, right? I do new photo shoots once, twice, sometimes even 3 times a year. And I use photography quite a bit in my brand. What most people don't know is that there's a very important family reason for that. And that is because I leave my phone at home most of the time when I'm out with family and friends. My goal is to be present in the moment and to enjoy making the memory, not obsessing over, did I get a good Instagram story? Did I get a good picture? Did I, get that great shot to share? I think our culture is so upside down and inside out that people say they're on vacation, and yet all they're doing the entire time they're on vacation is taking pictures and taking stories. And so there's no way that human being is unplugging for even a moment. They're not relaxing. They're not present in the moment. They are simply spending their entire vacation getting the shot. I refuse to do that. So I use photo shoots strategically in my business all throughout the year to do different campaigns so that I don't feel like I have to constantly take pictures and be on all the time and have my phone with me for everything that I do. In fact, I leave it at home most of the time. And, when I took my sabbatical in August, I did several family trips. Didn't post a single picture, didn't share a single story. No one knew where we were. No one knew what we did. And that was by design. That was intentionally. And I made a very intentional decision that I was going to be focused on being present with Billy and Madison. And I was not going to spend the entire time trying to get the shot to show everybody how great my life was. I was actually going to enjoy how great my life was. So that's another big tip that I have for you. If you want to be present on social media consistently and you want to keep the brand new and fresh and moving all the time, but you don't want to be chained to it, you don't want to be a slave to it, creating a balance of doing content days and batching of content and then coupling that with photo shoots is a great way. I do still keep up with stories and I, send things to the team to put up on my stories pretty consistently, but I am always very, very cautious about not getting into a routine that I don't want to sustain. And so I didn't say getting into a routine that I can't sustain, because I can force myself to sustain it. I don't want to. I don't want to create an environment for myself where I can't focus on being present with my family because I have to be getting the shot. And so that is the third big thing I would share today. The next one is living and working barefoot as much as humanly possible. Now, for us, moving to Florida was the most life-changing decision that we ever made. We see the ocean every single day. We go walking outside. We get vitamin D. But not only that, because the temperature is warm year-round, we don't really wear shoes. And that daily grounding is absolutely phenomenal for your health and also for your feet, for your back, for your whole body composition. Humans weren't actually meant to wear shoes all the time. And lots of people have problems with their feet, their back, their posture, everything in between because they wear shoes constantly. So many of us work from home. And so there's no reason why the people listening to this can't also do the same. The next one is getting direct sunlight every single day. So again, for us, big reason for moving to Florida, absolutely life-changing. I cannot tell you the impact of getting vitamin D every single day year-round. Find a way to get sunlight. If you can get sunlight on your face first thing in the morning, even better. But that's going to be a game changer for you. Take calls. I call them walk-in talks. You can take calls and do walk-in talks, and that is going to allow you to be productive but still get that sunlight each and every day if you don't want to cut into family time in the evening or other priorities that you have. Next, making sure that you are sleeping in a cold, dark room and getting yourself at least 8 hours of sleep every single night. I never had a hard time sleeping and I never slept lightly. But because for so many years I was working my Fortune 500 job and then I was building my business on the side, for many, many, many years, I was not getting probably 8 hours of sleep. I don't know how many hours of sleep I was getting. I don't think it was close to 8. And I made the commitment, when I moved to Florida, that I was going to do that. And that didn't happen right away, unfortunately, because I was going through quite a bit with the lawsuit, with, the media conglomerate and, other things that were going on. But as that closed out and I've been able to really prioritize my mental and spiritual and physical health, I've made 8 hours of sleep an absolute non-negotiable in my life, and my health and my vitality and my energy is night and day. Cannot even emphasize. But anything that you can do to black out your room and to make sure that the temperature is low when you're sleeping is going to enhance the quality of your sleep, and just not being on electronics in that last hour so that your circadian rhythm is not interrupted. The next one, theme days. Theme days have been a game changer. And in fact, for me, moving to theme days has really allowed me to cut out a full 8 hours so that I have flex days each week. A buffer day where you can either use it as your CEO strategy day, you can use it as a personal catch-up day, you can use it as a deep work creative day, however you need. But if you move to theme days and you're super intentional about your recurring blocks, it gives you so much more flexibility and freedom, because you can get everything into 4 days and then you have that 5th day buffer, which also, by the way, gives you a lot stronger ability to kind of transition and actually enjoy the weekend. I think that when you slam into the weekend and you can't slow down at all on Fridays, it makes it really difficult to kind of get into that new mode. Anytime you can make time in the morning, even if it's just while you're making your coffee, everyone has to do what they have to do. Obviously, everyone has a different situation, getting kids out the door for school, taking care of elderly parents. Maybe you still have a job, maybe you have multiple companies, whatever the case. So I fully understand that everybody has a different situation. But even if it's just while you're making coffee in the morning or just as you're waking up before your first call, if you can take any time to meditate and pray, even if it's just for a few moments, that act of starting your day and asking for grace and being in gratitude and inviting God into your work and your world for the day completely changes your ability to hold the space for the people that you're going to interact with and the problems that you're going to deal with that day. And I think getting into a good mental state to be able to kind of manage what is going to come at you is going to elevate you as a leader. It impacts your ability to make better decisions, have more meaningful interactions, and get more of the results that you want. 2 more. Get help at home with absolutely everything that takes you away from spending quality time with your family. I actually have an entire list that's really breaks down all of the different family roles. And I think one of the big things that we've really confused and convoluted is the fact that the home manager or the role of homemaker is a 40 to 60 hour a week job. And in many instances, both parties are working inside or outside of the home in some other capacity. And so that means one or both are taking on a second job. And I think that this is why there's so much stress and so much strain in so many relationships, because there's 3 full-time jobs and only 2 people, or 2 full-time jobs and only 1 person. And so my biggest recommendation is getting really, really clear on all the things at home that really matter, that are, quality time with the people that you love, and then getting help with absolutely everything else so that you can maximize the quality time and minimize the time spent on things that need to happen, but it really doesn't matter if you're the one to make it happen. And going hand in hand with that is just finding home services that can come to you. This makes a huge difference from a convenience standpoint. It allows you to get more done in less time. It's absolutely worth the little bit of extra money that it might cost to do it. I have an in-home tailor and someone that makes all the alterations for all of my clothes for me, cleaning, masseuse, you name it, right? the more that you can get help, that is going to free your brain power, your mental load, your physical energy up so that you can spend it on higher dollar tasks and you can channel your energy in a thing that's going to make the biggest difference for the people that you love and for the business that you're trying to build. So I think I gave you 10 or 11 of my top life hacks there. And these are the things that Billy and I really live by in order to experience just a really rich life, a really rich life, a 1% life. We love the life that we live. We've been super intentional about the way it's been designed. And I hope that some of you heard a couple of things today that you feel like you can apply for your life as well. One thing I want to remind everybody of as we wrap up today's episode is that we are in open enrollment in the months of October and November for the Legacy Leaders Mastermind for Q4 and 2024. I can't believe I'm even saying 2024. Legacy Leaders Mastermind is a group I've been running for 7+ years now. It is for business owners in the 1 to 20 million range. We have people kind of up and down that scale. The average revenues in the group are probably about 5 to 6 million at this point. And this is for people that want to build sellable, self-led, scalable companies and teams. You want to grow revenue. You want to build a championship winning autonomous team that can run the business for you. And you want to position it to exit one day. You want to grow your profits. You want to operationalize your content and your business. And you want a community of people that are on that journey along with you. So if you're listening to the show today and that's you, I want you to DM or PM me on Facebook or Instagram, the word legacy. We'll send you an application. We'll send you an overview of the mastermind. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here soon.